29 minutes now before the hour of 9, and it's time for Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard and his special guest today, Cheri Wilson. Good morning to you, Dr. Pollard.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Donna. How are you?
I am doing well, doing great today as we talk about scholarships at Oakwood University, right?
Hey, absolutely, absolutely. There's always a need for donors to assist students in matriculating through Oakwood University and through all of our universities, actually. We spend a considerable amount of our budget on scholarship and financial aid. But we also always need external donors to help us to bridge that gap.
Yes.
You know, the students have a gap. Now, we've taken some steps in our OU Care program for incoming freshmen so that we'll eliminate financial clearance anxiety. That's starting for the class of 2020, the freshman class of 2020.
Right.
So that we'll eliminate this whole clearance anxiety.
Right.
That becomes a very dominant disabler in the lives of students. We've got a lot of educational research in higher education says that financial anxiety is one of the major stressors that students experience.
Now, I got one question about that, and we just jumping right into it today.
We just jumped right in.
I got a question about that. What about international students who, and I know this is only for freshmen, incoming freshmen, but
absolutely.
Is there anything that international students can do to kind of relieve their stress on that as well?
Yes, absolutely. And of course, you know, George Bartholomew is just eloquent on this.
Okay.
So we'll bring George on one day and we can talk about it. But so the reality is that every time an international student presents, they have to present their financial capability statement.
Okay.
Every international student who's ever accepted, their financial capability statement says that they have enough money to cover their first year of the university. Now, sometimes between the presentation of that statement and the reality of registration, something happens. And I don't always know what that is, and I don't think anyone ever knows completely what that is. But in the meantime, there are other scholarships that the institution has that always helps international students, and they're always available.
Right.
When we talk about the OU Care program, which is designed to eliminate financial anxiety across the next 4 years, eventually we will not have students who register and cannot clear. That's the goal. We don't want that. If we register you, you should see your way clear all the way through to the end of your matriculation. That first semester, that second semester, and then throughout the succeeding years. Now, in that process, though, we're not there yet. So we're starting in 2020. There are other students, when we talk about OU Care, we have all these other scholarships that are available, lots of them, up to $10 million worth of scholarships institutionally that we do. Also, we have federal work study that assists students. Then we have institutional work study that assists students. So I don't know of one institution that does as much as Oakwood University does. We actually bend over backwards to help students matriculate. And as soon as they leave Oakwood, they see that if you don't have the money, well, come back when you got it. You know what I mean? If you don't have it, oh, sorry. When you get it, come back. Oakwood says, okay, we have a mission. We want to help you. We understand the finances of our demographic. We know that for every dollar of wealth that white families have, blacks and browns have 6 cents and 7 cents respectively.
Right.
So we know those things. We know about these financial demographics. Did you know that 66% of the residents of Northwest Huntsville live below the poverty line? Did you know that?
I kind of did.
Yeah, okay.
Because I actually did some research.
Oh, you did? Good. So you're good.
I didn't know that one.
So when you think about this now, we are serving the least of these, and there's a lot of conversation about that in the media today. But when Jesus says, inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these, Matthew 25, I think, verse 40, that's who we serve. We are, and we consider it an honor to serve them.
Right.
It's not something that we regret. It is an honor to serve this part of our demographic.
Right. Now, the only reason I brought that up because I've gotten several questions about that, and they're emailing me. I've gotten messages on Facebook where, you know, they hear about the CARE program and they know that's a great program, but I'm an international student and I need to know what I can do because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get back here and pay for it. So, but there are, as you've just explained, there are plenty of other scholarships and monies available for international students as well.
Absolutely. And many of these rules are created by the federal government. So, for instance, federal financial aid has to go to U.S. citizens. right? I mean, those
Right.
are not rules that
Right.
Oakwood created.
That's
Those
right.
are rules that
Yeah.
were created by the Department of Education.
Right.
So working within those rules and then beyond those rules to assist international students is one of the things that Oakwood has done and done very well across the years.
Yeah.
There's still a need. There's always a need. But I think the team, Mr. Bartholomew and others, I think they did a beautiful job in working in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know you have a guest today.
Our guest this morning is Miss Cheri Wilson, the Executive Director of Advancement. And she's going to also talk with us about more of these scholarship opportunities and ways that donors can assist the institution in assisting students. Because that's really what we're here for. We're here to help students matriculate. So welcome this morning, Cheri.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
All right.
Well, it's an honor to have you here. I'm sure they're going to want you to speak closer to the mic.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that mic actually, is it good? Let's speak into it again.
Okay, I said good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
That
Thank you
is
for inviting me.
much better. Okay. All right. So let's talk about scholarships. And one thing on my mind, too, is before we get to what we...
Okay, so let's get everything...
Let's get everything
Let's
off.
get everything off of Donna's mind
Because
this morning.
these questions are coming from my listeners. So I try to hit
let's
those.
clear Donna's mind this morning.
Yes. Did the university get any stimulus money from the government for the COVID-19?
We did.
Okay.
We did.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and update us on that?
Okay, so let me see if I remember the numbers exactly. So it's about, I'm going to round them up.
Okay.
It's about $1.6 million.
Wow. That Oakwood received? Or?
Yes, Oakwood.
Oh, wow.
Oakwood received. Okay, so half of it is aid that is to go directly to students. And there was an application process. Okay. I don't know, Cheri, you were on the committee. I remember when the cutoff date is for the application. Isn't the cutoff like the 15th of June?
15th.
Yeah, the 15th of June. So if anybody's listening and you haven't applied, it is an application-based process.
Okay.
So for any of my student friends who are listening, remember, it is an application-based process per the directive of the government. Okay, so these are federal monies. That $800,000 is to be delivered directly to students and their families.
Okay.
And then the government has parameters on what that money can be used for and what it cannot be used for. Okay?
Okay.
So it's pass-through money, as we say.
Okay.
Then we've got the other $800,000 that is to assist the institution in all of those costly adjustments that it had to make during the height of the coronavirus, in which we are still in. So we had to refund this and refund that and reimburse and all that. It doesn't make up the gap completely, but it begins to move us toward being made whole as an institution. Wow. So yes, there's money. Yes, we did receive that money. Yes, we did accept it. And the application-based process, so if they go to the web, to the university webpage, Cheri, you want to say a little bit about that? They go to university webpage, they can actually apply for those funds.
Okay. And students
Yes,
were
and
aware.
It's a good thing you brought it up because June 15th.
I know, it's right around the
June
corner.
15th is Monday,
It's like
isn't it?
Monday.
That's
so
Monday.
And over 700 students have applied already.
700
so.
have. Oh, wow. So how did they
I think
find
it can
out
only be
about
used for
it?
So think about it.
technology
So
and
so
things
if
that
700 students have applied, and if each one gets $1,000,
That's pretty good.
that's pretty good, and that's 700,000 of the 800,000.
Exactly.
So it goes fast.
All right. So, but they still have time.
They still have time.
Monday, we can get in because there's still some more money there. So, again, what's that website? So we can.
It's on Oakwood's website.
Oakwood's website. So go
Oakwood.edu.
Oakwood.edu and just surf through there and you'll find it where you can
right there on the
apply for
front
that.
page. So look under.
Okay, so now does Donna have any other questions?
It's not really me, I'm telling you. It's
I
like
know
this-
you're asking on behalf of listeners.
On behalf of listeners.
And that's
that have-
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
have
beautiful.
called me or emailed me or got me on Facebook and were asking me these questions. So I'm glad that we're talking about this today. So let's talk about advancement. And you had a goal this year of $15,000.
Well, that was part of a COVID-19 response
Okay,
campaign
right,
for
okay.
scholarships, and mainly for our seniors that need to graduate, get that diploma, go on to their jobs and graduate school and what have you. So we were really excited. We called the campaign the COVID-19 campaign, and it's directed for students and their families because of COVID and their setbacks and the disruption.
Right.
But it's called OU 2020 All In. And we had, at this point, we've raised about $138,000.
Wow.
And part of that was due to an anonymous donor that called. She had heard about HBCUs and that disruption, how it's caused so much heartache and
Right.
disruption for the students. and said, well, I know an HBCU, Oakwood University. So she called and she wanted to give $15,000 if we would match it. And our alums
Match
and
that,
our
of course,
friends
of course.
raised $15,000 or gave $15,000 in less than 7 days. So
Wow.
we're
That's
very, very
right.
grateful to our alumni, our friends of the university for stepping in. I mean, it's really remarkable. We have that campaign going on. We still have over $150,000 to raise because we want to make sure every senior, gets that diploma. I was woke up this morning. Somebody called, had $1,000 donation for the Aeolian.
Wow.
So
Oh, praise
people are
God.
giving to many different things, and mainly scholarships right now.
Wow. Well, that is great. So
Because
we
that
met
money
and
does not cover scholarships.
okay.
The stimulus money that covers technology and,
Yes.
and things that happen because of COVID, but not tuition.
Right. So we met and exceeded that goal. Praise God. We're thankful.
We
Very much-
did. We
very much
did the
grateful. Very
15,000,
much.
but I have to tell you some other good
Please
news.
tell us about that.
Because we have applied and we're waiting now, and I've been given the okay to say this, but we have another matching campaign coming.
Oh, wow.
We've just it's a pending one for $50,000 challenge. So we're excited about that. We can't wait to get started. Our alums are excited and giving, and we invite everybody to join in for scholarships for students.
And it always helps.
Right.
Every dime makes a difference, right? Every
Yes, it does.
dime,
Every dime, every penny.
makes a difference. Every dollar makes a difference.
Yeah.
They all make a difference.
Yeah.
So we remind donors, and I don't ask anyone to do anything that I don't do. My wife and I, we give to the university
Amen.
to support students and those kinds of things. That's very important. So what we do, we ask others to do as well, to join us. And there's a joy in being a partner in seeing students birthed into success. There's a joy that comes with that, really.
Yeah.
Every time they graduate, you say, wow, look at these faces just ready to go.
Yes.
And speaking of that, we're going to have a graduation too.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Committee voted yesterday.
Yay.
Yesterday.
To recommend a commencement service August 1st, fully socially distanced and health protocols being followed
Okay.
at the Von Braun Civic Center.
What?
Yes. So that was the action yesterday.
Excellent.
And one service, though, I mean, again, we got to accommodate all of these different elements. And we're working with our partners at Von Braun to make sure that it is a safe and sane event and socially distanced, socially appropriate, healthfully appropriate event. So
Okay.
that's what we're doing. So it may not be like any graduation we've ever seen, but the team was working on it yesterday, and I asked them, please give us a recommendation. We don't think we know. You've been doing this for 25 years, planning these events. So with the COVID-19 protocols in mind, and with your knowledge of how to operate this event, put those two things together and make a recommendation. And their recommendation was a single service, a commencement event on Saturday night, August 1st.
Okay.
That's Saturday night. I think that's Saturday night. A single event, and again, it's not going to be like anything we've ever seen before. They're working out what that looks like. How do you graduate people, keep them 6 feet from each other, all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But again, the class of 2020, it will mean a lot to them.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah. And so I'm sure they're dedicated to getting back here too, because many of them probably weren't planning to come back at that time.
So
probably a challenge.
we have surveys among them. The
Okay.
senior class president is on the calls.
Okay.
And in the committee. So
And so
speaking
that's-
on behalf of them, and they've been doing polling. So it'll be a very, very strong representation of the class of 2020.
Wonderful.
It'll be very. I can't say it'll be all of them,
right?
but
yeah.
it'll be a very, very, very strong representation.
Wow, praise God for that. Now, in light of the COVID-19, right in the midst of it, we had some struggles that came up dealing with social justice and George Floyd. And I understand that the family recently put out a call for universities to create scholarships in the name of George Floyd. Now,
Yes.
tell us about that, because
sure.
I think
Cheri?
our university.
Yeah, we
took
did.
the
We
call.
did. We created a George Floyd scholarship. We think that it's a very important statement, one of many that universities have made. It's only one, but again, though, it's focused on young black men. And I just want to say something. I watched one of the conservative commentators and she was very critical of George Floyd and said we're making him a martyr and he's been to jail and I wanted to go through the television and say, so are you saying he should have been killed? I mean, so because he was, because he had a criminal history, background, does that mean he should have been killed? I think they completely missed the point. Nobody is making George a saint.
Right.
Nobody's trying to do that. We're saying he should not have died under the knee on the street of a police officer whose duty is to protect and serve.
Right.
That's all we're saying, but it's not all we're saying. It's what the world is saying.
Right.
And so this is a fitting memorial to this cause that he represents at this point. Right now, the cause involves Brother Floyd, but it's much bigger than Brother Floyd. That's obvious.
Right. Yes.
And so if we're going to be of help to young black men, and I just heard Dr. David Williams talk about the statistics. I shouldn't try to quote them because he was on CNN or something. But what percentage of young black men will go to jail, have an encounter with the criminal justice system? It's alarmingly high.
I know.
It's alarmingly high. And we just have to use education to help them make strong choices to benefit them, their families, and our society.
And really save their lives if they go to college.
Yes.
You know, and in a nurturing, affirming environment like an HBCU.
Absolutely.
You know.
This is the time that HBCUs, and I want to hear Cheri on this, this is the time when HBCUs should be the institutions of choice. To me, it's just very clear.
Right.
While we got to transform many, I get that, we do that, but why not come to a place where the culture, history, legacy is celebrated, where you are celebrated, where what you represent is celebrated. And in terms of the diversity and inclusion effect on our campus, 50-plus countries represented. So I just think this is a great time to get the message out that we have a history, a 100-plus year history in the HBCU community of taking students from wherever they are, whatever socioeconomic demographic they're from, and launching them into the sphere of service and transforming lives.
Yes.
We got a history of doing that.
Yes,
Others may be new to it. We're not. We've been doing it for a long time.
Yes. So, Cheri, tell me how this scholarship is going to be operated, and how can students go and apply for the George Floyd?
What they can do is go online and apply for the general scholarship. That's at you go to Financing Oakwood, then scholarships, and it's the first thing you see. It's one scholarship application that they can apply for that one. Also, other scholarships, other donor-established scholarships. You can also look on that page for UNCF scholarships. There are plenty of scholarships for students to apply for. But this particular one is for students with, that are still trying to clear, the seniors still trying to clear. Many of them have lost jobs, their families have lost jobs, or health, or family members, and it's been difficult to transition, So we're just trying to help them with that. So they can go to give.oakwood.edu to give to the scholarship, and then Financing Oakwood, and then scholarships to apply.
Okay. So is there going to be a list? I'm not a student, never been to the site to look for scholarships. Is it a list of scholarships, or are you saying just go, there's a general?
The main one is for Oakwood University donor-established scholarships.
Okay.
But there's a list of other scholarships that are available.
Okay.
And they can just click on those scholarships.
Okay. And how can people donate to various scholarships? Same website and everything? If they want to give a donation to a specific scholarship, maybe the George Floyd, they want to make sure that there's money there specifically for that. How do they do that?
Yes, thank you so much. And we have had an increase in our alumni and friends giving to scholarships particularly. And at this time, people can't do anything for service a lot of times because they're at home, so they give. They want to give. And we're really thankful. But they can go to give.oakwood.edu. The first scholarship on there is the George Floyd Memorial Scholarship, and also the COVID-19 Response All-In Scholarship. Those are our current campaign scholarships that we are aggressively raising funds for. But then they can look at the page and see whatever their heart speaks to their heart. Scholarships, annual fund, capital or departmental gifts.
Wow. Everything is right there.
Yes.
You can find
and if
that.
they need any assistance, they can email me at cwilson@oakwood.edu or call my, can I give my cell phone number?
Oh, well, that's up to you, but I wouldn't.
But
I
they
can
can-
give you office number.
Yeah, they can call 256-726-7204 as well.
Wow.
And
wow.
we will assist. We had a donor, like I said, just this morning. They text and where can I give it electronically? We helped her, and in 5 minutes she was able to give a gift. She said I could tell you, and I don't think she'll mind, but it was Kim Long.
Oh,
Wonderful,
praise
Dr.
God.
Long.
So thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Dr. Kim.
Yes.
Thank you very much for loving and serving Oakwood.
Yes.
Thank you. And never has that support been more urgent, Donna. 2 days ago, the Wall Street Journal had an article about black unemployment, and it said that the coronavirus obliterated the best black employment record in history. It obliterated. Unemployment had gotten down to about 5%
Yeah.
in the black community.
Yeah.
Now it's back up to 16, almost 17%.
Wow.
So many of our families are affected by these. And the predictions are that the recovery will be slower in communities of color than it will be for others. So we're talking about a long stretch here, and whereas those of us who move forward have to also reach back and make sure that we are being of help to our communities
Right.
and to the families that our communities represent.
And we need that more so now than
We need
ever,
it
like you
more
said.
now than
Yes.
ever before. So if you're a donor and you want to help, this is a great way to pay it forward, to invest in the future and in the lives of our students. It really is. It's a great way to take care of life after you and I have closed our eyes. That Chinese proverb,
Yeah.
the best day to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Right.
The second best day is today.
Today.
Today is the day we plant those trees.
Wow. Well, praise God. God is doing some wonderful things through our donors, and our students are coming back. Everything is not getting
that's
back to normal,
exciting.
but at least life is it's kind of molding and shaping now into something that it's, going to be okay, right?
Well, Cheri and the team the advancement team have kept before us the need to continue the funding streams to help with all of these things. And we're very, very grateful for that work. That work makes such a difference in the lives of families and in the life of the university.
Yes.
And we are getting ready to come back to the campus.
Yes, I know.
And we're putting in place, we had a great report the other day in our responsiveness task force from our public health team with some wonderful recommendations based upon CDC guidelines that we're examining now and trying to find our ways to implement all of those. We're going to open the campus. It's going to be safe. It's going to be, but it just won't be like it was.
Right. It's
So
gonna be
when
different.
in the old days, you go in the cafeteria and everybody's in the cafeteria at
Not gonna
mealtime. Not for the foreseeable future. We'll have to do rotations and staggers and all of those kinds of things. And we got all these recommendations coming forward. So it won't be the same as it was before, but it will always be the Oakwood experience because
Right.
that's the thing
Right.
that is timeless, whether
Yes.
it was 1906 or 2006 or 2016. It's
2020.
the Oakwood experience continues across generations.
Yes, it does.
It does.
It does. So, Dr. Pollard, we jumped right in talking about this money because we were so excited to talk about those blessings. But did you have a word for us about
I
all
know.
this?
We went right past
We
that,
went
didn't we?
straight
Okay,
past it.
so-
But I don't want to skip it if you have it because you always have a good one.
Yeah, I thought about something I heard the other day on one of the political talk shows, and the person said, okay, so here we go. So something was said from the White House. Something was said, and then of course the press secretary was trying to explain it, and finally one of the commentators said, in politics, when you're explaining, you're not winning. She just had to keep explaining.
Yes.
So guess what? I thought about
Yeah.
the plan of salvation.
Yeah.
After Adam and Eve fell, Genesis 1 and 2, the Lord could have sent a long explanation about what happened, why Lucifer sinned, how could a perfect being choose to, he could have done that. How in the world did Eve make the choice, and why didn't Adam? He could have explained. He could have done a whole lot of
Right.
explaining. He said, something, I'm not going to explain. I'm going to send Jesus.
Amen.
That's the best explanation in the world,
Amen.
because the word says, he that has seen me, John 14, has seen the Father, 5 and 6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So rather than go through elaborate explaining, what we really need today are role models.
Yes.
When you have a great role model, you don't
I
need to
agree.
explain.
I agree.
The impact is evident,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So whether it's a Martin Luther King or a Mother Teresa or a Mahatma Gandhi, and you can just keep on and you can walk forward into history. A lot of explanations are not necessary when we can touch and feel and see the person.
Right.
And that's the role that Jesus comes. So he is the best explanation. Maybe that's why the Bible calls him the Word.
The word.
Not a word,
The.
Word. So he's our best explanation. We're grateful for him.
Amen. Praise God for that. Now, as we get ready to close, though, let's let our listeners know one more time where they can go to donate or to apply. Students can apply for scholarships and things like that. And then we're going to close it out for today.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Again, thanks to all of our donors. We appreciate you. You can continue to give or start your gift with any amount, because that $138,000 we raised for COVID-19 response was done by $20 gifts to larger gifts. So thank you very much. And you can go to give.oakwood.edu and give to that scholarship, George Floyd Memorial Scholarship, or others. And you can even email me at cwilson@oakwood.edu, because many people like to start scholarships. We had one start just a couple days ago for the nursing department. So you can start a scholarship or an endowment. And then to apply for those scholarships, go to Financing Oakwood on our webpage, oakwood.edu, and then go to scholarships, and you'll see a list of scholarships that you can apply for, but mainly the Oakwood general application.
All right, Dr. Pollard.
Okay.
Final word.
Well, yes. Well, thank you. And please, thank you for supporting the Office of Advancement Development. And what Ms. Wilson has said is exactly what we want to keep before our listeners. You just go to our website. The information is all there. And again, let me just take a moment to thank all of those who have given so lavishly and so generously and so freely to the institution so that it can continue its work of mission and transformation. And I also invite our listeners to, of course, pray as we seek other funds that may not be particularly donor-based. They may be government-based, they may be grants, they may be contracts. All of these sources of revenue help fuel the mission of our institution.
Yes.
And that's very important too.
Very.
So we thank our listeners in advance. You can always be of support. If it's dollars, that's support. If it's prayer, that's support. All of the support that you give is appreciated, because every effort makes a difference.
Amen. Well, thank you, Dr. Pollard, for being with us for Inside Oakwood, and your special guest, Cheri Wilson. Thank you both for being with us. Be with us again next week for Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard on Monday and Thursday next week. We'll see you there.